This is your 2020 BMW X6. It is all new for their third generation. Let's go straight into the perks, quirks, and irks. So everything's kind of grown on the vehicle. It's a bigger front end. You still have all LEDs, and I should hope so at a price point of nearly $100,000. This is the M50i, so it's got the bigger engine. So let's start with the lights. So I've always loved that BMW has a massive turn signal. And yes, this has the upgraded laser light package. You can tell because there's a bit of blue in there. And as, again, typical BMW, the outline are your day runners, and those are your regular LED lights, LED fog lights. Big news here is this is the first BMW to have a lit up kidney grille. I'll put a proper cutaway shot into it in a couple of seconds, but I just want to show you the lights are actually right there, and they're actually between all of the slots of the kidney grille, and it goes all the way around. So anywhere you see light, you can see the shadow of my finger. It's kind of like a Jeep, and back when Jeep had the JK generation and they jumped to the JL, you can't really change the shape of a Jeep. The same way you can't really change the shape of an X6. It's a Sports Activity Coupe, and you can't flatten it out, and that turns it into an X3, X5, X7. So there's tweaks, it's different, but it still maintains the same shape. Quickly jump to the wheel. You have the really nice blue brake calipers with the M on them. I like the rims. They're simple. Yes, I know they're 10 spoke technically, but there's 5 actual spokes, and each spoke splits into 2, but looks pretty good. Not really the biggest fan of this. It doesn't do anything decorative. I'm okay without it. Like the different color for the mirror caps, a very nice touch there. Let me get out of the reflection. If you want to see me, you can skip straight to the driving portion. Let's take a look at the rear. The shape isn't for everybody. I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a huge fan, but it's growing on me, and I see more and more of them on the road, so it's not too bad. It wouldn't be my first choice for BMWs. I would probably run an X3 myself if I'm looking for the SUVs. You get dual spoilers, one up top, you can see that right there, and you get a second one right here. Take a look at the cargo space, and then we'll go back and look at the lights in a sec. So I went grocery shopping and I forgot to put those away, so now you know I eat Nature Valley snacks. Anyways, here's the cool thing. It looks like there's not a lot of storage space. I'll put the cargo space. I'll put the figures up right now. And you have this, which collapses and folds if you want things hidden or you want things, you know, whatever. So it's nice and easy to undo. But what you also get is a hydraulic lift, which is right there, plus underfloor storage. So yes, people rip on it for not having a lot of storage, but there is substantial room underneath there. So before I do that, I'm going to show you just so that's the opening right there, and that's at its highest capacity. You can alter it through the infotainment system to lower it. So if you have short arms like me, or you are in an underground parking lot and you don't want it to open that high, you can definitely adjust it. So I'm going to just tap that, and that's how we close it up. Let's take a quick look at the rear. I jumped the gun a little bit. So nice thin lights, and it's a very minimalistic design, and I really like that. Sorry, birds are flapping away and making noise. Quad tailpipes, overall, to give you a quick look. So there they are. There's 2 of them and 2 on the other side, but it's kind of not split. I'm bad with words today. Housed in one, so it looks like it's dual, but it's actually in fact quad. Really like the taillights, like the design. Get the M50i badging right there, and the X6. So let's back up here, give you a side profile as we wrap it up, and let's take a look at the inside of the 2020 BMW X6 M50i. Let's start with the rear seats of the all-new X6. So 40-20-40 split, very BMW. Get your ski pass through, and you could fit 5 people here somewhat comfortably. There's a little bit of reduced leg space there, but let's get this put up for now. Again, seats are very easy to put down. You just pull a little lever there, down they go, up they go. So the passenger seat is all the way forward, so you can see the rear passengers have a fair amount of leg space. This is my comfortable seating position, so if you're sitting behind me, know that you'll have some decent leg space. The complaint previously was because the roof slopes downward, the rear passengers had really poor headroom. BMW has remedied that by making the seat bottoms angle all the way in, so it's kind of like a little pocket for you just to kind of get into. And the seats are still comfortable, but that's how BMW has given you an extra couple of inches of headspace for your taller rear passengers. They've just angled the rear seats. So really nice back here. You got your climate controls. The vehicle's off, but again, you've seen a lot of BMWs with these rear climates, and this is no exception to it. Taking a quick look over the driver's shoulder, that's what we're looking at up front. Let's get some things out of the way. There we go. And with that, let's close up the doors and open it up. So inside of the door, lots of storage. I like that. It's very functional. They're my notes. Angled cup holder. You get this nice pattern here for carbon fiber, and we'll see a little more of that throughout the vehicle. This is a little, I don't know, it threw me off for a bit. I always like putting my hand into the door and then opening and closing it, but these little door handles, I got used to it, but a little weird for the first couple of days. Your trunk openers are here, and usually they can be on the floor here, somewhere here, but I like that BMW has put it here just above the massaging seats and your memory seats right there. So overall, really, really nice. These seats, these seats are so good. They're so comfortable. I think it's a 20-way power seat. Just the side bolsters are so good. Thigh bolsters, not bad, but it's super comfortable, so it makes up for it not being too high. And I guess if you look at it from this angle, it's fairly high, but anyways, very comfortable. You got your thigh extender there, and it doesn't look like a lot's happening here, but you get controls that way and that way and that way and that way and that way. And anyways, it moves a whole bunch, and it actually shows up on the screen. So I'm gonna hover my hand there, and it just shows you exactly what's happening with your seat, where it's moving and what's moving, because you can't really put your head down here and take a look, and it's always good to know instead of guess. So with that, let's quickly jump in. You've seen these dashboards before, 12.3 inches there, 12.3 inches there. Now this does have the upgraded Premium Excellence package, and I'll get into more of that in the drive portion, but it does give you this really cool shifter instead of just the regular non-glass one. So we'll just start the vehicle up. Get that typical BMW sound. So again, you've seen this in the X7 I've done, and a bunch of other more recent BMWs, and I don't care anymore that the tach goes backwards. I just don't. I can still read it, it's still fine. There's a heads-up display, again, part of the upgraded package right there. And everything else is the same. Now this is it was an Irk, and it's more of a Quirk now. So this is a little camera that kind of keeps its eyes on your eyes, just to make sure you're not distracted. Now the steering wheel is kind of high for me. I usually like it a little lower down, but you can see just with the control right there, it stops right there. And the reason it doesn't go any lower is because the arc at the top of the steering wheel has to be higher than the camera here, or else the camera is kind of ineffective and you miss out on some safety. So I'll call it a Quirk. Let's go with it. It's a perk because it helps keep you safe. Quick look at BMW's iDrive system, one of my favorites in the industry because it is so intuitive, so easy to use. You can use the touchscreen, or you can just use this lovely, easy to use, easy to navigate controller. You get hard touch buttons as well if you don't want to dig through some menus. There's really not a lot, but it's a nice quick way to get to where you need to be. So for example, I'm going to go to car, and let's just go to the settings where I was. So again, you have all sorts of different settings here, and I like that it's got interior lighting as a standard feature. I'm going to quickly point upwards to the Sky Lounge, and you can see it's blue around the edge, and it looks so cool at night. I'll try and get a good night shot of that. And basically it matches the color here, and there's 6 colors in total. Got your bronze, orange, blue, green, lilac, and white. So it looks really, really sharp. And it is a full panoramic sunroof. Obviously the front half opens, the back half does not. But your rear passengers do get some light, so thank you BMW for that. Oh, I guess while we're up here, really, really nice headliner. It's just such a nice touch, very soft, very BMW. Let's call it that. I like that. I like just how it just fades out, and it has that little digital welcome mat on the outside as well, and I'll get a shot of that. It looks like we've got a lot of night shots to get tonight. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's go back home for the infotainment system. Let's go down HVAC. You get your little digital screen in the middle, so if you want more air, you want less air, and you use that to tell the HVAC system where you want the air. So I really, really like that. There's your little safety shield thing. So I'm going to pull back a second, show you. So with it off, it says at least one intelligent safety system is deactivated. I just keep it on all the time. It's easier, and that's what it's there for. Going down, I think they're going to get rid of these at some point in the next couple of years. Just I don't see a point in having it, especially with having that virtual assistant. So that's just my 2 cents on that. You do get heated and cooled cup holders. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'd use it myself, but it's cool to have. Wireless charger comes with the Premium Excellence package, and that's how your phone goes in there. I like the cool crystal gear shifter, because looking at it now, you're seeing a bunch of X's. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but if you look at it head on, it's just the one X. So it's multi-dimensional, multi-angled. So I think it's a really cool feature for BMWs to have. There's your start-stop button, and the cool thing here is, yes, it has some angles, but in addition to saying start, engine, stop, there's some words back there, and it actually says start all the way through it underneath. And you got to look really, really carefully to see it, but it's definitely in there. So very cool there. You get your drive modes, auto hold, your parking brake, a couple of blanks here, no big deal, and some camera stuff in your auto on, auto off. There was a cool walk-away, lock-away feature. That's what I'm calling it. I know it's not the real name. Anyway, so I'm not gonna lock the door. Fingers are on the side of the key fob, not touching any buttons. Keep your eye on the side mirror as well as the rear lights. Right about now. So they flash and it goes in, so it automatically locks. And the closer I get to the vehicle, not touching the unlock button at all, unlocks. Definitely not a new feature, but one I've always liked about BMW. You're gonna hold down the unlock button for a couple seconds and all your windows are gonna go down, but your sunroof will also open up. So for those super hot days in the summer where you just don't wanna get into a hot car, you can air it out for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, get that air moving outside of the vehicle. Let's do the drive. 2020, a BMW X6, third generation, first year of the third generation. So the engine is a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo, 523 horse and 553 pound-feet of torque. If that sounds like the M850i I had a few months ago, you'd be right. And that is a massive bump. It's up 78 horsepower from the 2019 version, and it's up 74 pound-feet of torque from the 2019 version. So there's a lot of power under the hood here of the X6. Now, again, this is the M50i with the V8. There is the 40, which is the smaller engine. Driving dynamics and feel and noise and vibration and harshness, it feels like a car. Yes, I know I'm much higher up than like a 3 Series or a 4 Series, but just the way the car handles and feels, it feels like you're driving a car, and it's really only when you look up in your rear view mirror that you're reminded that there is so much space behind you and you're actually driving a mid-size SUV. So corners are really good. Yes, I know the car's got a higher center of gravity. There's not a lot of body roll, I find, and BMW has always been good, at least from the BMWs that I've had over the past 6 years, as far as making the driver feel planted and secure, and very little body roll, very little sway. It's very planted, it's very secure. Regarding fuel consumption in liters per 100 kilometers, because I am Canadian, we're at 14.5 in the city. We are at 10.7 on the highway, and your blended total comes out to 12.8. It's an 83 liter fuel tank, and BMW says put the good stuff in. So when I return the car at the end of my test week, that's exactly what I'm going to do. The 20 X6 has grown a little bit over the 2019 model, so it's about 1 inch longer. Its wheelbase is about 1.6 inches longer, and as far as wideness goes, it's 0.6 inches wider. So growing out exponentially all the way around. So it's hard to notice, and again, I'm going to go back to my Jeep reference. It's really hard to change the shape of something so pronounced, right? Like, it's an SUV coupe. You can't really do much with it. You can tweak it and you can maybe soften or sharpen the edges, but you still have to retain that same shape, because that's how it helps itself stand out in the BMW lineup. There's the X4, which is just a smaller version of the X6, But if you start squaring things off, you get into X3, X5, X7 territory, and that's just going to cannibalize itself. There are a lot of standard features that come with the X6, including 21-inch wheels. You get the M Sport exhaust, you have the remote engine start, the blind spot monitoring, the forward collision warning, the lane departure warning, the big massive panoramic sunroof. Sky Lounge is extra, does not come as a standard feature. Just wanted to let you know. And you have your adaptive LEDs. So that's just a small example of all the cool standard features you get. Regarding acceleration and the actual power underneath the hood, yes, I'd mentioned it's 523 horse, 553 pound-feet torque. But the interesting thing, and to me the remarkable thing, is the 553 pound-feet torque is available at 1800 RPMs. And that really gives you a ton of power off the line. And it does the 0 to 100 sprint in 4.3 seconds. Seats are so comfortable, and I love that they move so many different ways. I believe there's 20 ways in total. And the part that stands out for me is the upper back part of the seat actually goes forwards and backwards, because not everyone has the same spine. So thanks BMW for getting a little extra creative when it comes to ensuring the comfort of your driver. Premium Excellence package, it comes in at $17,000. And yes, that might be a lot, but there's a lot of stuff you're getting. And the list is on the screen now. And for me, I would get it because there are more things that I would benefit from than things I just don't really care about. So the laser lights, I care about. Sky Lounge, care about. The massaging seats, the cooled seats, all things I care about. Traffic jam assistant and all the technology, definitely care about. Do I really need heated and cooled cup holders? No, of course not. Are they nice to have? Sure, if it comes with everything else, I'm okay with that. But again, if I were to pick up an X6, I would definitely tick the box off that said, please equip it with the Premium Excellence package. An X6 is a want as opposed to a need. Yes, you're losing a little bit of cargo space because it's a coupe and it's angled down at the rear, but it is so much fun to drive, and there is just so much power under your right foot. Fit and finish is absolutely beautiful. And this isn't a knock against the X5. I haven't been in one in over a year, but from what I see with the all-new X6 for the third generation, I really like what BMW has done as far as really making it a serene place to be, comfortable, full of luxury, soft touch materials all the way throughout. My argument in favor of the X5 is it's just more functional. With a squared off rear, you fit more stuff in there. And you know, I don't have any kids, so I don't have soccer practice, baseball practice, dancing, ballet, insert whatever activities kids do. I'd go with this. I would go with the X6. I find it drives more like a car, and I'm more of a fan of cars than SUVs. So it gives me that car feeling when I'm driving it, whereas the BMW definitely has a larger SUV-ish feel to it. So, and that's the only reason that I'd pick it. You know, I really like the X5. I had a great time test driving it last year, but I would go with the X6. My personal preference, that's me. That's going to wrap up the review on the 2020 BMW X6 M50i. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I will do my best to get answers to you as soon as possible. Be safe, be healthy, be well, and I'll be back sooner than later with my next review.